Welcome back to Entrepreneurial Shades of Gray. I'm Chelsey Sayasan alongside my co-host Dani Dials, and this is a conversation everyone in this building has been waiting for. I can promise you that.
I am so excited about our guest today. She is truly one of my favorite people to work with. She is my fellow media executive. She's also what I refer to as a serial entrepreneur. Her work ethic speaks for itself. She's the type of woman, when she walks into a room, her presence is felt. She's bold, she's driven, and I just can't say enough good things
She's
about her.
funny, too.
Yeah, she is hilarious and super impressive, probably managing the biggest account for all of Gray Media, which is super huge. So without further ado, we just want to say welcome, Miss Lynn Self, to Entrepreneurial Shades of Gray.
Hell, let me tell you, whatever I'm paying for those compliments, I'm going to double it today, baby, because that was nice, Dani. Thank you.
Listen, I almost want to nickname you Hustlin' Lynn, because if there's a hustle, you have probably done it, my friend.
Gosh, sometimes I look back and I'm like, how did we get to this place where, you see your age and you're like, I know I'm not that age. I do not identify with that age. I'm going to flip that age around. Then you look at your life history and you're like, man, I am at this age. I do have all that experience.
For sure.
And what a journey it has been.
Girl, your experience really blows me away because, you're in media sales now. You've got a lot of experience in that, but you also currently own a beekeeping business.
Correct.
A beach chair business.
Yes.
You've got a slew of entrepreneurial experience just under your belt.
Yeah.
Dating back to when you were 9 years old.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Man, I don't know. I've always watched patterns and trends. I have ADHD. For a lot of females, they're undiagnosed because all of the medical history is on males with ADHD. So females are just, she's a chatty Cathy, or she's just a busybody. She's bossy. Really, a lot of that's ADHD. And once you are able to hone that in and realize that it's not a deficient, it's actually a superpower, and you start using it like it's a superpower,
Right.
baby, it's over. But, early on, I would watch patterns and trends, and we lived in Germany until I was 6. And when we came to the United States, did I start to understand like race and the difference of people and different of class? Because when you're on a military base, you just know that maybe my dad is your dad's boss. Everybody gets paid on the first, baby, So the last 2 weeks of the month, we all struggling together. I get into elementary school and I'm paying attention. And I'm like, man, why is the bookstore always out of stuff the last 2 weeks? Because my friends still have money. I don't, but I'm paying attention. So I start the next month, I get my little money. I go to the store, I buy a bunch of stuff. I hold out. I wait out. As soon as the bookstore don't have it, I start selling mine. Next thing you know, I'm going from candy to pencils to erasers. Principal calls my mom's like, Miss Day, you've got to come in here. Lynn is killing our bookstore profits. My mother, we walk out the door, my mom was like, girl, you about to learn about distribution. I was like, I gotta get my homegirls involved, let's go.
It's so funny. It just it really does it's in your blood, just from my conversations with you and how we've talked about this throughout the years. It just makes sense in your brain, it seems like, not only just sales and dollars, but how businesses work, like the through and through. Do you feel like it's just always been like that?
I'm blessed that I had what amount of time I had with my dad. My dad was such an inspiration to me because he said, if you know just a little bit about every topic that can come up, you can always carry a conversation. And so I always saw him doing that, reading things, getting into things that had nothing to do with his life or his industry, right? And so as I came up, I just always picked up a little bit of everything along the way. Now, when you get into sales, that is key because you don't know the personality on the other side. You don't know the conversations that you need to spark up so that you can create a connection, right? Because we all buy from who we trust and we like, right? And there's a lot of trust that has to go into sales, and especially media. I can't see it, feel it, touch it. I just have to know it's working. I don't know how it's working, but I can see it through my numbers, right? So just the experience of understanding multiple things, understanding multiple personalities, and not being afraid. So with ADHD, and I always refer back to that, we tend to have a little less fear than some other people, right? Now, that'll get you into trouble, but it'll also give you the opportunity to jump off the cliff and build the plane on the way down. Mm-hmm. I think too many times in business, we get caught up on every step of the way to get what we see our end vision being. There's no way you're going to know every step because you haven't even traveled that journey.
Yeah.
You can't know every step until you start to get into it. Now, where I struggled in my 20s with that was I would not ask for help. I have learned to hire up. You know, I played softball. So, you'd be going to play the really good school, and everybody's like, "Ooh, y'all about to get whooped." I'm like, "Baby, we about to get whooped. We're about to play up, okay? They're going to bring out the best of us, right?" So I think that's what happens. The best of you gets brought out in challenge, in hard times, when your butt's on the line.
Yeah. And with you having so much experience in various businesses, I mean, you were flipping houses at one point. You were painting apartment complexes.
Correct.
You had so many, your hand was in so many different things. So you've had all these opportunities to learn and grow and pivot and be resilient and bounce back. How would you say all of that ties into what you're doing now in terms of because this is a job where we have to take risks. Eric refers to us, that's our GM, he refers to us as our own LLC,
yes.
Right? Like how has all of that experience shaped you to be able to go after the biggest account for Gray Media and win it?
From the early risers crisscrossing our back roads and highways, to the multitaskers keeping families on the go, and the night owls who get to work while we sleep. Southern Tire Mart celebrates hard-working folks like you who keep our nation rolling. With expert care for every vehicle, big or small. No matter the need, we're here to keep you moving forward. Southern Tire Mart since 1973. We keep America rolling.
I think it is the resilience. So I've failed a lot. I've had water mitigation companies. I've had 3 lawn maintenance companies. A lot of that was built on being a teen mom, right? And so I learned fast that the jobs that I wanted to do weren't paying like the male jobs. And so I just had to go work like that because I had babies at home. And immediately my dad put me in an apartment. I moved out at 15. I've never moved back home. And I've been able to build something from that. And my kids grew up with me. And there's a lot of things I wish I could change about that, but a lot of things that I'm so grateful for because it made them such strong little humans right now, Everybody's successful. They're going on and doing their own things. But I think what it does is it teaches you that you can rely on yourself. I got me. Mm-hmm. No matter who fails me in this life, no matter what challenges I come up against, I've been through everything you can think of. And so what can come at me? God's got me, and I got me, and he made me strong. One of the things that I pray about a lot and am so grateful and thankful for is that he gave me the brain that he gave me. Mm-hmm. Now, in my early years where ADHD was, y'all see me now, imagine in my 20s, okay, where I couldn't get all the thoughts that were going crazy into one place where I could make money from that, right? But I think all the time, thank you, God, for giving me the brain that I have, the mind that I have, the ability to take care of myself, but more than that, to be able to take care of others. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I don't know the scripture, but it's who is the strongest among you, take care of the rest, right? Mm-hmm. Take care of the weaker. So for me, I'll look like I'm money driven because I'm constantly talking about business, constantly talking about making this or failing at that, or I have nice things now that my kids are grown because they're grown. That's why I have the nice things. Right. But, because you can't have them when they're little. But, I think a part of that is being able to say, I've seen it. I know God has brought me through these challenges for a reason, and I'm going to see the other side of it and not giving up. Too many times I gave up too soon. Have you ever heard somebody say, don't tell somebody your dreams?
Yes. I saw that on social media today.
Baby,
Literally.
those are
It was like, because everybody's not rooting for you. So
No.
don't tell people
I
your
try to
dreams.
speak mine into life.
Yeah.
You know, I brought a vision board and it's in the truck. I didn't bring it in here with me. I wish I would have. But you've got to keep your vision in line, right? Because what you focus on, you draw to. If you focus on negative, you draw more negative. Right. So for me, I think of that all of the time because, man, you'll give up right when you're about to have success, but you didn't even know it because your friend has a fear and that got brought on to you and you're like, that's what keeps playing in the back of your mind. Or your mama says, are you sure you want to sell real estate and get into honeybees? That doesn't sound like a good idea. Now, if you know me, it's a better idea because I'm very sympathetic and if you have a problem, I'm going to help you. Next thing you know, you're not paying rent and I'm bringing groceries to the house.
Right.
It's not a good business for me to be in.
Yeah.
Right? But a business of helping nature, helping people, right? Because we've got to have honeybees, but also helping my beekeepers, helping myself. So I think business that helps everybody is always going to be successful, but you can't give up. You've got to fight through. You've got to see yourself to the other side, which brings me to the account that, you know, we all know in this building very well that is the largest account for gray media and has so much more potential. For me in the beginning, it wasn't even the thought that that could be that type of account, but going in, following the customer, seeing where their pain points are. So that's half the battle. If I sit down with you and I say, what are the pain points in your business? You'll come up with a couple of quick answers that you think I want to hear. But you won't realize if I came and shadowed you for a day or two, I'm going to find all kind of things that I can help you with.
Yeah, I was just going to comment on your commitment to that because it wasn't just a question and answer. You literally took your day and invested it and went like at an employee and shadowed and dug into information and sacrifice.
And you've been to conferences in other states about the topic of this specific account.
Yeah.
Like you are an employee at this point.
You're
Yes.
invested.
Well, that's going back to the CEO, be your own CEO. When we went to training for our corporate office and they're like, you have to be your own CEO. It's so true because in sales, you're going to hit 80 no's before you get to a maybe or a yes. So you have to have a resilient wall up, but you've also got to be able to push through that, right? So being your own CEO means there's no failure. We can't fail here. I've put it all on the line.
Right.
Success is the only option, baby. So whatever diversity comes at you, you've got to be able to get around it. So I think that's how we were able to go after this account is that being able to identify the problems and being willing to do the work.
Yeah.
We saw so many people. I've gone up against so many people after this account, right? And it's everybody coming with the same, here's our idea. And you're passing off work to your client when, in theory, you could dig down and get in and do that work and gain that business. And that's what we did.
Yeah. And I think, too, a lot of your success comes from you really care about what's best for your client. And, you know, so you're not driven by the money. I've had conversations with you, and not only just with that, just in general, you know, this is a very competitive industry. And I have seen you more willing to collaborate versus compete. Like Lynn has come and just given me leads. I'm like, thank you, Lynn. She's like, call this person. Like I remember last holiday season, you came and had done all the work and prepped and was like, here, Dani, and just gave me a lead. And like that part of you, I believe, is why you are so blessed and successful because you're generous and you care about people. Just like you say, you want your businesses, the ones that you're invested in, you want them to be businesses that help with the beekeeping and all of that. I think that has a lot to do with your success.
You know, I think so too, because you've seen me. I will go to battle for my client.
Yeah.
Because in this building, it's our GM's responsibility to stand up for our corporate company. it's my responsibility to stand up for my client.
Yeah.
So who's going to fight for them inside of this building to get what we need to have the success that drives the account forward, right?
Right.
Unless you get in here. And look, sometimes, girl, that passion,
Same.
it be coming across fun. And then all of a sudden, that same passion will come across because it's determination to win, and it's caring about the people on the other side, right?
Right.
And I know, like, I cannot name one time somebody's walked over and handed me an account and been like, here, go run with that. But when things are happening, I know the best fit. And if I'm not the best fit, I'm going to put that client with the AE that can handle it.
Yeah.
That just like speaks to who you are. She's really such a cheerleader in this office. I'm a little bit in the sales. I like have my feet in the water where you guys are actually swimming in it. I'm in it. My feet are in the water, but on air is where I stay put. But it really is so fun. It's funny because my desk is right where the big boy's office is and all of our administrative folks. And she'll come out sometimes like just smiling, and then he'll be following her and going like you just know what you're doing. And I think we all just respect you so much because you know what you want and you get it done.
Girl, but in the beginning, does anybody remember when I came in the building? That is not how it was.
Right. That's why I was saying, like, the sacrifice that you made going after you saw the vision. And in the beginning, you had to endure a little bit of like stress, but you knew the vision, and it ended up working out.
Right.
Gosh. And you have got to keep yourself focused on that. Like, you ain't fixing to take me off of this. But that's also having tenacity, right? You've got to be tenacious.
Yeah.
And especially, it'll come across, to some one way, I'm sure. But as a female, you better put a little extra on it. You better put a little extra on it, baby. And let me tell you, one of the hardest things for me, the category we keep talking about is very male-driven. And so in the beginning, I was, going after information and being treated like, well, you don't want to get into the weeds on that. You just won't get it. Man, I race cars. I'm very masculine in a lot of ways.
Listen, y'all, she drives a red Corvette with a tag on it that says Primetime.
Primetime.
Okay, because if you look good, you feel good.
There you go.
Southern Tire Mart in Mobile has relocated. Visit our new state-of-the-art facility stocked with a variety of Bridgestone tires and equipped to service any car, truck, or SUV. We offer a full range of services including oil changes, alignments, tune-ups, and more. Our professional and friendly staff will always treat you like family. Southern Tire Mart provides top quality service and innovative Bridgestone tires to keep you ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart, we keep America rolling.
But finish your thought. I just had to put
I'm
that
just
in there.
saying. So there are so many times, and I'll bring it up to our digital sales manager because he has a daughter who I think is going to probably be president. She's going to do something phenomenal.
Right.
Okay. And I'll say, Joseph, pay attention right now because what you're seeing is not what you think you're seeing. This is me being taught to. You got to be a girl right now. You got to, you better step down a little bit. Like, you're getting a little sassy over there. You're getting a little big for your pants. Better calm her down. It will happen to you by women as much as it will happen to you by men. You have to stay confident in who you are, right? I will come across looking like I don't know what's going on. Got all this blonde hair, little boobs going on, whatnots. I will walk in the room, baby, fun, laughing, but I promise you I will have dissected your business so much that I will know as much or more than you about what's going on because I care. I want to know.
Yeah.
That's what's beautiful about marketing. I get to learn so many businesses and don't have to go start them myself.
Yes.
It
just help
feeds
'em.
my mind. It encourages me. I wake up every day and I'm like, man, there is not one day that's ever been the same.
Yeah.
And every day I walk away have learned something new.
Yeah. One of the things that I believe helped me on my journey is finishing college late, right? And it's because the era that I grew up in, I feel like if I had finished college when society says you're supposed to, I would have held myself to doing what my degree said that I was supposed to do. But because I haven't done that, I gave myself permission and freedom to explore all of my gifts and my talents. I'm curious, in your case, what was it that gave you the idea to go from these various different businesses? Because beekeeping, like, when did you know, like, hey, I have a gift and a skill set for raising bees and harvesting bees, and like, what does that entail? Because you've had to move your bees across the country and go and have them harvested. Like, what was it inside of you that gave you that spark and permission to put your hand in so many different things and be great at all of them?
Gosh, Dani, I think, well, again, it goes back to ADHD, right? What are the things that you do best? And that goes back to hiring up. Like, hire somebody that's good or great at a skill that you're not good at, right? Don't be afraid when you're a business owner to do that. But for me, I think, it's got to be the fact that I dig in there and I start looking at data. And then I start to understand that industry. Then I start looking at history, right? Yeah. Now I'm invested. Now I'm coming up with ideas in my head of how do you take it to the next level. Oh, what if you did this? What about that? I'm having dreams about it, right? So we giggle all the time, like this little outfit looked like Merlot. I was like, look like a glass of Merlot, but can't drink it.
Right.
Because I don't mess with alcohol. I don't need liquid courage. I have too much courage. There have been times where I've jumped out, tried to start businesses and was not ready, right? And it hurt me and my kids. There are times I've jumped out there and it was exactly when I needed to do it. So in the beginning, there was more fear because I don't have fear, and I would do it and fail, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we can't afford for me to fail again, I had 5 kids by 23. That's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And working 2 and 3 jobs. I always, from the first child, have always had 2+ jobs. But I think, just not caring, saying we're going to get something's coming out of this. I'm going to learn something, or we're going to be very successful with it, and just jumping out there. Water mitigation, I had no idea what anything was about, but I started looking at the data. I looked at his reports. I looked at his bookkeeping. Next thing you know, we're doing water mitigation. We're like ServPro, like it never happened. Bees, I'm flipping houses. There's 4 partners. We're all, bringing our skill sets to the table. And at the time, we were actually doing a reality show. And so we're doing that, and one of the guys is a Romanian, and his buddies are coming in. They're beekeepers. They start talking numbers, dollars, this, that. I start putting stuff together. I'm like, hold on, y'all making more money doing this than I am flipping houses. Problem with flipping houses is you don't know a lot of the underneath until you get in and start tearing walls out. This is in Tennessee, basements, mold, black mold. You don't know foundation problems. So I thought to myself, man, I'm about to jump over there. It's more money. I don't have to physically do it. I just have to manage it.
For people who are unaware, because I learned this at a Fox 10 event, it was just me and Lynn outside the Walmart last Christmas. We're collecting gifts for Fox 10. And I left there going, she needs to write a book. Because, her whole experience from motherhood, young motherhood, to businesses now. Let's talk about the bees specifically.
It's so interesting.
It blows my mind, Lynn. This is, as you mentioned, good for the earth, good for your employees, but this is a win-win business-wise. How does it work with the beekeeping?
So, back when we started doing mass agriculture, right, we needed more pollinators. So back in the 40s and 50s, a lot of homes had beehives in their backyard. That's predominant of their sugar, honey's expensive. Now, no one has beehives. They're only at industrial-sized farms or out in nature. And so watching that process, we load them on trucks, we take them to a new farm. They
Which
go
they're
up there.
paying you to bring them there.
Sometimes we do work out those brokerage where we're getting paid to pollinate. And then sometimes you'll be in an area and you're getting paid for pollination on this farm, but you've got several hundred more beehives you've got to put out on farms. And so you find farmers, make a lot of friends, give away a lot of honey, get your bees out, and then you pick up from that area and then you go to another state. Now you'll lose 30% of your colony in travel, right? But 40 years ago, worker bees lived 6 months to a year. Worker bees live 6 weeks now. So the conditions are harder on them, right? You can have a queen bee that can live 5, 7 years, but the worker bee itself is replaced every 6 weeks. And they're so intelligent, they do a woggle dance inside of the beehive that tells, okay, well, we're going to make this many worker bees, we're going to make this many drone bees. It's brilliant. But one of the things that getting into this, collecting honey, right, that I learned about was honeybee venom. And the venom is like a cell reset for your body, and it goes in and it attacks inflammation. So for people who have MS and they're having problems with medication and they can't walk, they'll take bee injections. And you can do it, where we collect it and we sell the venom now, or you can have live honeybees sting you.
What?
They'll allow that venom to go in there, and it gets rid of the inflammation. I've had 7 knee surgeries. I do live bee stings on my scars, and you see my heels. I'm just saying, the bee is the most beautiful, perfect creature God created. Every part of it's meant for a working purpose.
It's so
amazing.
Fascinating. I know. And so you're managing the bee business. You've also got a beach chair business, a rental business. How are you managing just the stresses of it all? Because I remember at one point there were wildfires in California where your bees were. You had to go and move. I'm talking to her one day and she's like,
Right.
I got to move my bees. And I'm like, what do you mean move your bees?
Right. Literally.
How are you managing the mental?
Again, I'll go back to ADHD. It doesn't let you sleep a lot. So your little brain's moving all the time.
We got to talk about that too. Like, for
You
people who
know,
have ADHD, we're not saying
It is a
just
superpower, baby.
Well,
you better be glad.
when did you, I know I'm pivoting, but when did you know that you had ADHD and how are you managing
Oh,
that?
now that was late 30s. Prior
Okay.
to that, people would tell me, you're depressed. I'm like, man, I'm not depressed. I'm like the happiest person you know.
are.
I'm just aggressive. And so when you all that, people trying to calm you down all the time. I'm like, I don't need to be calm. You need to be lighting the fire. So it was late 30s when I came to her name was Kay Wells, Nashville, Tennessee. She said, look, we're going to take a test today. Mm-hmm. She said, I think you have ADHD.
Okay.
The anxiety is being driven by the ADHD, right?
So you have a professional that's helping you to channel it so that you're able to do all of the things, but it's key that you obviously got diagnosed.
Correct.
Okay.
And, we all know the days when I walk into Eric's office and I'm like, hey, I didn't take my Adderall today. And he's like, oh, God. He's warning people, So we don't know if it's going to be a fun day or a bad day. We don't know. And even the days where I take my Adderall, Dani, I come in here and it takes me an hour to get to my seat. I've got to visit every desk. So, I don't know. To me, it's a superpower. I'm grateful I have it.
It is.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people will say things, and I always try to encourage people, dive in, lean in on that, because there are things that you're capable of doing that other people don't even understand how to get done, right? But I think for me, being able to multitask, all of those things, the first 2 years of that beach service, oh my gosh, there have been some jobs that I have had where I'm like, my body can't do this. First of all, I'm too short. You've got to be able to lift things. I'm getting hung up, spinning me around. I've got workers who are out there carrying 8 chairs, and I'm like, I'm 2 chairs and an umbrella, baby. Don't get it twisted. I'll make 40 trips. But so the first 2 years of that business were so tough. But my son is my partner on that one, and he has taken it this 3rd season. He's ran with it. Look, there have been times where we've had it out, because there has to be tough love at some point.
Yeah.
He was not pushing himself beyond what he could do, right? And he kept coming back, Mom, I need you to do this. Mom, I need you. I'm like, I'm an investor, okay? This is your 3rd season. You know it. You got to jump in and do it. They say don't mix business with family. one of the things that I prayed for when I first moved here was a business that kept me at the beach. And for me to have the experience at least once in my life to be able to have a business with one of my children, I got little entrepreneurs, you know, and I want to teach one of them, know that I've passed some of that on to one of my kids. So they used to call Nicholas the golden child, my kids did. They're like, Nick, is that your favorite? He's your favorite. That's the golden child. And I will tell you, Dani, I do discriminate. I will tell you who is the favorite. Because whoever is not giving me the most hell, that's the favorite.
The favorite one.
Okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
Right.
And so he just didn't give me a lot of problems. So, you know, we got along great. But he was also the kid who came to me when he's like 5 and he's like, hey, I want to get this. And it's like a $200 toy. I'm like, yeah, buddy, for Christmas. And he's like, no, I got the money. I'm like, what? How did this kid come up with this money? Every time we'd see my parents and they'd give the kids a couple of dollars, he'd put his away. My other ones had
Sounds
to, you know.
familiar
Right.
from you being 9 years old. This
You know, and so next thing you know, he's like buying his own stuff. And he was the kid who kept it in the box. My oldest was the kid who had to tear it apart to see how it was built. The funny part about that, I'm both of those people.
Yeah. So, okay, going back to the stress part of it.
Yeah.
Because there are people who are trying to juggle just a main job and a side hustle, and just learning how to manage with what comes along with it. Because we ask for big things, and sometimes we don't realize what it takes to carry that type of calling.
That's
So,
right.
like, what are you doing? You've got all these businesses. Do you go to see a therapist? Do you set boundaries? Like, how are you keeping yourself mentally, like, at peace?
You know, I don't know if I'm mentally at peace. I'll say that. In growth, there's going to be a lot of pain. And I don't think I've ever stopped trying to push for my maximum. I don't know what that's going to be. Every time I get to a level, I'm like, "Ooh, let's add something on. Let's get. How much more can I do? What can we get?" Y'all know I got that puppy last year, which was, you know, I already had a bulldog. And it was like, why do you want to make your life so hard? You're adding so much more. I don't know if it's me challenging me, but I do want to push beyond anything that I've accomplished so far. I don't know how great it could be. I don't know what's on the other side. And the thing of it is, it all generates great money, and that all is wonderful. The beautiful part about that is when God whispers in my ear and I'm in the perfect position to be able to help somebody. And I've tuned in and can hear it. My 20s and 30s, I was running too fast. I couldn't hear things quite like I hear them now. But I can tune in and hear or see that I can jump in right then and help. Man, Dani, that C8 is fun, but there's nothing greater than that opportunity right there. So I know God has bigger things for me than this, so much bigger than what I've accomplished right now. And I'm probably borderline disappointing because he's like, come on already. Like, let's get there, girl. You can do it. But I'll tell you, I'll always push for more. I'll always push people to accomplish more. I think we are our biggest assets, you know. Whenever I find myself overstressed, I will make a voice memo, and I will tell myself affirmations.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, girl, you got it. Remember back in the day when the power was off and we was playing like we was camping?
Yeah.
Look at you now. You can pay the whole year of light bill right now. So I'll record that. I'll have those things, and I'll play that all day in my ear because you are your biggest cheerleader. Your brain hears your voice the most out of everything. So be kind to yourself. Be graceful. You know?
You're doing it.
Yeah. And just to piggyback off something you said, coming from somebody who got their theology degree 2 weeks ago, God is not
Yes,
disappointed
girl.
in you, girl.
No.
He is not disappointed at you. He loves you, my friend.
I will say there's more too,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Because you have this heart of generosity, and when the Lord can
For
trust
sure.
you with the small things, the Bible tells us that
yes.
those small things will turn into big things. And so
Yeah.
you better get ready.
Yeah.
You know, I'll go to help somebody and they'll say, please don't do that. And I'll say, please don't block my blessing.
That's a good,
Yeah.
that's a good
Right?
response.
Like, because I hear that I needed to step up for you right then. And if you don't allow me to do that, you might be blocking something for me. So please, we're going to have to look past you right now, girl, because it's going to be about me, right?
Or him.
Or
It's
him.
about
It
what he
is
wants
about
to
him.
do
It is.
through you.
Through me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dani, can we give a quick shout out to a company that's doing big things in our rural communities?
Absolutely. Prestige Technologies, Chelsey. They are literally changing the game for rural hospitals.
It's amazing. So take Troy Regional, for example. They were named one of the top 100 rural and community hospitals for 2025, and Prestige played a major role in that turnaround.
That's right. They came in, Chelsey, and they upgraded all of the equipment in the hospital. They boosted the Wi-Fi. They rewired the entire hospital, and then they even staffed it with their own IT experts. I tell you, they are not just fixing tech, they are bridging the digital divide.
And that's why they call themselves the future of rural technology. So a big shout out to Prestige Technologies for investing in the community healthcare and making excellence possible.
What advice would you give to the teenage mom who is feeling like she can't be what she thought she might be or what her parents thought she might be because she's got a little baby to take care of now? What would you say to her?
Oh, girl, the best is yet to come. Let me tell you what you're doing. You're getting all the hard out of the way right now, right? So there's a saying that lean into the hard, right? That's what you're doing right now. So imagine at your age, if you can figure all this out right now, what are you going to do when you're in your 30s? You won't even have this to figure out. You'll have this down. You're going to be on to bigger things. Thing about a teen mom, too, I'll say, they don't have the years spent at home under that security blanket. You kind of get the blanket ripped off of you, and you have to go out and fend for yourself and your kid, right? And so it's easier as an adult after you've been a teen mom, right? Whether you live at home right now or you don't, you are going to be leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else, even though you think you're behind right now because your friends are going to school, they're going to head off to college. You're going to go accomplish all those things and more, but you're going to have a different mindset. Y'all know your mamas. How much did you learn from being a mom? So I'm not encouraging anybody to be a teen mom, but I'm telling you, if you are, look, by the time I was 43, my kids were out the house. I had learned so much, been through so much business, and had so much youth still on my side, right? So my kids are as close as they could possibly be because we grew up together. And that's what's going to happen to any teen mom out there right now that's listening. She's, you got to fight through, baby. You got to believe in you.
It's going to be, you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to be disciplined.
Yes.
You're going to have to, persevere. And it might feel like it's, unachievable right now.
Yep.
But consistency, discipline, it'll
Yes.
get you a long way. And also, just to piggyback on what I said earlier about me not finishing school when society says you're supposed to, I'm not knocking education at all. It is critical. It provides knowledge, credibility. It produces discipline and all of those things. I'm just saying that it doesn't define a person as an entrepreneur, their credentials, what they can be as an entrepreneur. But I'll go back, And so to that teen mom too, like pursue what you're passionate about. Find out what it is that you're good at. It could be that baby that helps you to recognize what you're good at.
Hey, and I'll tell you this, and this is true, and it sounds so cliche. When you find what you're passionate about, the money will follow. It is very true, right? In so many situations, we've all been there where we're like, I don't know how I'm going to make it to the next day. I don't know how to make it to next week or whatever. And God finds a way, right? He provides. Somebody comes through. Something happens. And you're like, I don't know how that happened. We all know how it happened. But, I'll say this. I tell my kids this. And when my youngest one, who I couldn't spoil kids until I got to her, right? So she'll call and say, hey, I need money for this or that. Girl, how many days off did you have this week? Why did you have any? You have no children at home. Why do you have a day off? Drive yourself hard now. That saying youth is wasted on the young, that is literally just your body, okay? Youth is wasted on the young means that by the time you got the wisdom to know that you should have been working like that, you're starting to feel it in your body, right?
Oh, Lynn, you just hit me in the heart right there. It's so true.
It is so true. Don't allow that to be you if you're a teen mom. Work hard now. Let me tell you what you don't. I hate to hear kids be like, well, I don't have a social life since I got, man, you know when you can have a social life? When you get up here with some money, baby, because that's when it's fun. That social life back when you're broke, that ain't no social life. That is crap. That's all y'all broke hanging out together. No, that is not fun. You need to get on past that. Okay, you don't need a social life.
Right.
Yeah.
What you need is some money in the bank, some drive, some ambition. Those things will line you up. You know, we're all going to have speed bumps in the road.
Right.
How well can you cushion those?
Yeah. And I think experiences are great. We've got to have experiences, but there has to be a balance, you know, between what's experience and what's wasting time and what's distracting me
Right.
from
Correct.
achieving.
Right. I feel like I'm so happy you say that because I feel like all of us to an extent are hustlers. You just got to get stuff done. You just got to get
Yes.
done. And I know that that's just lost, especially with this younger generation now who are coming up. I hear so often from people who are my age or a bit younger than me, like, I just have to, I need to protect, like, my peace today, and that is important, and I do agree with that to an extent, but I was like, I'm thinking, like, where is the hustle? When I first started here, you would have told me to scrub the toilets, I'll do it too. Like, anything to just be in this building, and I feel like that thought and that motivation is gone now because of some sense of, like, selfishness.
Entitlement.
Right.
Entitlement, for sure.
Which, hey, now that I am here, I do prioritize my rest. Saturday, Sunday, I'm doing that. But, like, when I first got started, there was no time. I wanted to be in that studio, and I was going to do whatever, you know, to do it. And you guys, too. You got to
But look at what that brought, right? The
Right.
fruit of your labor is showing now.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't understand anybody that has time off. Go find, there are too many little jobs you can go pick up. Too many little things you can
Hold on
do.
now. I'm taking 2 days off next week, Lynn.
Hey, now, a little time off. But you a hustler too, Dani.
You're not broke anymore. We're not young and broke anymore.
Okay.
right. I get it.
I love it.
Yeah, Lynn, you are just such an inspiration. I am so proud to call you my friend.
Oh,
I
thank
love our
you.
chats that we have. Every once in a while, it'll just be me and Lynn here. And when everybody else has gone home, and we'll just be chatting away in some cubicle or office space.
And it'll be some God movement.
It'll be God. We
Ooh.
pray. We
Like,
do all the
girl,
things. And I
yes.
just want to let you know that I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank
doing it.
you.
You are doing it, my friend.
you
and
are.
Yeah. I just
And
can't
looking
wait.
good. Well,
Girl,
no one's
sis.
outfits at Fox 10
This girl.
beat this girl.
This girl's power suits. When I
Nobody
tell
beats
you,
it.
this girl has got some power suits.
does.
Yes.
And the highest of heels, too. The highest.
And the brightest colors.
They
I
are
will come in here looking like a highlighter, baby. I will.
Yes. Well, I have enjoyed this conversation with you. Can't wait to see all the things that you're going to continue to do, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me on
Thank
here.
you,
I
friend.
am
Thank
always
you.
so thrilled to see both of your faces. I love telling you my stories because one of the things I think that we do in life is that we push off what we need back, right? So I try to make y'all laugh because you laughing makes me laugh. We have the best times. I love this place. I love you guys. Thank you for having me
Love
on.
you. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you.
This episode of Entrepreneurial Shades of Gray is brought to you by Honest Air Plumbing and Electric, iBeachService.com, Prestige Technology Systems, and Southern Tire Mart Mobile. I meant to ask you too who named your car, but or why'd you
Was
name
it
your
you?
car Primetime?
Well,
Obviously,
I
you named her.
love Coach Prom. First of all, neon.
Oh my
neon.
gosh! I thought that it was
It is
because
related
of like
to TV. It is. It's a dual meaning in there. But football and cars are my thing, right?
Right.
Okay.
And I grew up in that era of Deion Sanders. I grew up watching him on baseball and football. You're like, he is like a god. Like, how is he doing this? But one of the things that I love the most about him, in his younger years, he cussed. and then he stopped. And you've never heard him do it again. Man, I wish for that. Ain't no way. I'm just saying.
You did
We might use that clip because we're still rolling.
Okay. But I do, you know, I saw the card and I was like, ooh, Primetime. And I had got a TV sales card and I said, I'm going to name it Primetime because I'm TV sales. And I was like, ooh, and I feel good in this card. When you look good, you feel good.
Right.
When you feel good, you sell good.
Right. That is so true. It's important how you show up.
It is. You know, my dad told me one time, he said, look like a professional, you'll get treated like a professional.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
So.
Just let go of the wheel.